Hi, my name's Stephen. I'm representing Steadymaker, and we are going to be talking about how to balance your stabilizer. We're looking at the Tank PLUS. Now, we've talked about assembling the rig. So I assume that you've put your rig together, your base is secure, your rig is steady and balanced. What we're going to do is place the camera in the cradle. The one adjustment I have made is I have put a monitor onto my rig. This is a small HD DP4 monitor. So I've attached that to the rig attachment that I told you about. Again, you can put a light on there, you can put a microphone on there. I've just screwed a monitor on there. Right now the motor is switched off. The battery is connected, but the motor is switched off. The reason is because we need to balance the camera in the cradle before switching on the motor. When we switch on the motor, what the motor will do is it will find the balance. It will find the optimum balance for your camera. But the important stage is to pre-balance your camera. In other words, it should be straight and level in the stabilizer before you start. So I have a GH3, a Panasonic GH3 here. It's got a lens turbo on it and 19 to 35mm wide angle zoom lens. The reason I'm choosing this lens is the wider the lens, the more steady your footage will look. The other option I would say with the GH, with the Panasonics, is use the stock lens that comes with the Panasonic because it has a built-in image stabilization in the lens. I think it's the 14 to 45mm, so that will further help to stabilize your footage, and at the widest setting it's also a very wide lens. But I'm going to use this one. It's a little heavier and it adds to the weight. Speaking of weight, your Steadymaker Tank PLUS gives you between 800 grams and 2,500 grams of weight. That's the recommended weight in the cradle. The camera body alone on the GH3 comes in at about 500 grams. So the camera body plus the lens will be on the low end of the stabilization. Something like a 5D Mark II comes in at about 800 grams just for the camera body. Again, you have to factor in the battery, the lens. These all add extra weight. But as long as you're in that general region between 800 grams and 2,500 grams, you're in the sweet spot for this stabilizer. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to balance the stabilizer effectively. First of all, you have a quick release plate on the base of the stabilizer. What I'm going to do is just slide that out. You just lift the quick release clamp up and slide it out towards the back. Okay, and you have your release plate. You screw your base plate into the camera. You can see on the bottom of the camera it gives you a direction with the lens points. So if you just follow that direction, the lens points, you just clamp it in with the lens points. To tighten up, a little tip, I use a coin, and then use a coin to tighten up the bolts on the back. It's very effective, just gives it a nice sturdy grip. To slide it in, there's an arrow if you see on the base plate. So I go from the back forward, slide it in, and you'll slide it past a certain point, and this clip will spring into action, securing the camera. So the camera is now in the base plate, but it's not secure. How to balance the camera effectively in the cradle. Now what you want to do is you want to slide the base backwards and forwards until the pitch is horizontal, means level to the ground. Okay, so you make small adjustments while you're holding the yaw. So right now it's top heavy, you can see it's tilted forward. So you want to slide it back. Now if you look on the sides of the cameras, you'll see there's a little spirit level as well. This will help you to balance the camera more effectively. So I'm going to slide it a little more backwards, still top heavy, keep sliding it backwards, and you can see it start to balance. I would say that's pretty good right now. If I check the spirit level, maybe nudge it backwards slightly more, just a little tiny bit more. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Now just lock down the camera. So now the camera is balanced horizontally. The pitch is balanced, but now we have to balance the roll. With the roll, you will find two bolts at the bottom here. You can undo those bolts. Again, I use the coin. And it's the same principle as the pitch. You would nudge the camera to the left and to the right. You can see The pitch is now centered. Now I'm trying to get the roll to be centered. Also to help you, on the base plates there are some spirit levels. You see these green spirit levels at the side of the camera. This will further help make sure that your camera is steady. So I'm just going to check from the front. A little more there. So I'm just touching the camera to the side, and that looks pretty good to me. So then just put the coin underneath and tighten up the bolts. Make sure that the camera is secure in place. A good way of testing, if I swing the pitch, it returns to center. If I swing the roll, it should return to center. So the pitch and the roll is effectively stabilized. Once your camera is stabilized, now is the time to switch on the battery. So you would replace the handle to the default position. The camera is now straight and level, and you connect your battery up. My battery is already connected. Switch it on. You'll hear a series of beeps, and then you'll see the motors adjust the camera to the position. So now my stabilizer should be straight and level. Now the default mode of the stabilizer is to follow the pitch and follow the yaw, which is the left and right movement. So if I lift the stabilizer up, if I pitch down, you see the camera tilts down. If I pitch up, you see the camera tilts up. This is what's called follow mode. This is the default mode for the stabilizer. If I turn left, the camera tilts to the left to follow. If I turn right, the camera tilts to the right. So this is follow mode.